Your book could be changing lives, but it's not because you haven't written it yet.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live with the hardcore style. Fresh new kicks.
Hey Writer Boos, it's me, your number one writer boo, Write with Carla, here with your wine and writing tip. This week's featured wine is Apothic White. The Apothic brand is one of my favorites. You cannot go wrong with any bottle that you choose. I promise that you can. This Apothic White has a nice sweet aroma, very refreshing. Nice crisp flavors that kind of dance on the palate. They linger just a little bit so that you fall in love as it goes down. I love Apothic White. So go grab a bottle, take a picture of yourself enjoying it with a good read. And I won't be so selfish. It doesn't have to be my book. I just love that it was. All right, so today we're going to talk about how your book could be changing lives, but it's not because you haven't written it yet. I brought a few friends along, some of my #happy clients, to help me illustrate my points. So my first point is you can help to reshape your reader's thinking. It is the embodiment of dreams could come true. It is reshaping their thinking to understand that where they are, they don't have to remain. If they're stagnant, they don't have to stay there. Or if they're headed down the wrong path, it's not too late to pivot and go in a different direction. So to illustrate that point, I'm doing this side, Lessons from a Felon by Glenn Lewis. He is one of my #happy clients. And all of these books are available on Amazon. Glenn comes from Chicago, and we met, he found me on Instagram. I think his girlfriend found me on Instagram and said, hey, baby, you need Carla to help you write your book. But this book talks about his life on the south side of Chicago and how he was going down the wrong direction and wound up in prison. So after doing his bid, he realized this was not the life for him. This is not how his parents, who worked very, very hard to put clothes on his back and food in his mouth, this is not the future they envisioned for their son. And he was able to get out and turn that life around. So in the book, he talks about key principles such as, and I opened it right to this page, invest in yourself. Do what you can with what you have where you are. A quote by Teddy Roosevelt, our prezi, or former prezi. But invest in yourself. And he talks about how he now is the owner of a restaurant. So he went from selling, I was just about to say selling, you know what I was about to say. But he talks about his journey into prison, out of prison, and how he was able to reshape his own thinking to enlist a better future, a brighter future. And I'm so proud of Glenn because he is actually selling his books to prisons so that he can help reform those who are there, as well as talking to youth of Chicago so he can keep them from making the same mistakes that he made and just pivot their lives and go in a better, brighter direction. 2, growth mindset. So your growth mindset is all about how you can evolve, right? You grow as a person, you evolve as a person. The longer you're here on earth, the longer you're alive, the more people you encounter, but the more you should be growing as a person. So you have stagnant mindset and a growth mindset. The stagnant mindset is obviously stagnant. You are just in a hamster wheel, just going to the beat of everybody else's drum. You are not the designer of your life. You're not the architect of your life. You're reacting instead of being proactive. So Mark's book Inside the Bubble, Lessons Learned from a Life in Business and Protective Services by Mark Six James is nothing short of amazing. When I did the edit on this book, and I read through it and forgot that I was editing because the information was so good. I was just reading it like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. And when I did work, I was in a management role, so I was a leader, and I learned a lot from him. There were things that resonated with me having been in that position of leadership, but there were also so many things that I learned. Chapter 2, experience always comes with scars. Wisdom is not getting the same scar twice. So he talks about how as a leader, you learn from your experiences so that the next time that instance comes up or that same story comes up, you know how to avoid being scarred or avoid being hurt by it because it's already happened. So how you know how to avoid it, and now let's go a different path. But Inside the Bubble, very, very good book, talks about growth mindset as a leader, from one leader to several leaders. I'm pointing to me, from one leader to several leaders. But your book could be changing someone's mindset. 3, inspire action. So Kiara Graham, hashtag happy client, Diary of a Goal Digger, GOAL, because you are setting goal. Oh, this is a little card she wrote me. I love it. Thank you, Kiara. Diary of a Goal Digger, a guide to creating your own success. In this book, she talks about juggling her relationship with motherhood and owning several businesses, a podcast. I believe her first business was a tax business. So she came to me and we got the book together. We connected the dots. We wrote it all out. And she has a book that she is very happy with, and it's selling very well. Also available on Amazon. But her book is to inspire action. It is to talk to you about setting goals and how to accomplish them. Finding your passion is one of her chapters. Another one is being overwhelmed. When you're overwhelmed, how do you move forward? How do you recognize that you are overwhelmed, and what can you do about it? So I'm sure you could just, if you opened up your text message thing right now, what does it have, like 10 names on it? Any one of those 10 people you can point to and find at least one of the 10, probably even 2 of the 10 who are very overwhelmed with their life. This is a book that will help them with being overwhelmed. And you, as a reader, who have very important tools that you possess and knowledge and skills, could be sharing these things with people to help them change their lives. 4, your book could teach something. Cadence of Life, 8 Traits for Winning in and Out of the Classroom. Now, don't pay attention to this stripe. This was Dr. Frederick Ingram's print proof. So he sent me a copy of the print proof so we can go through it. This is a step before actually making the book live. This is where you get a printed version of the book so you can look at it, look at the cover, make sure the cover looks good, flip through it, make sure your pages are where they need to be. And in this one, I even had a note to make this quote smaller. Love is not only something you feel, it is something you do. So I have a note here to make the guy, the person who said this, David Wilkerson, make his name smaller so it fit with the others. That's what a print proof is, but that's not what we're here for. We are talking about teaching something. So Dr. Frederick Ingram is talking about how love is not just something you feel, it's something you do. You have love for your job. And in this part of the book, had he already started working? So in this, he's talking about, it's kind of what I loved about this book is not only did he talk about his journey through life, but he attached it to different principles. So the love principle is how the love of music basically saved his life, and not just listening to music, but playing music. So you could be teaching someone how to navigate through their own life and through their own troubles by showing them how you did it yourself. Another teach something example is Chase Learns to Read by Constance Poitier. Constance Poitier just happens to be my mom, and yes, she is a hashtag happy client. But in Chase, there's a whole Chase series. There are 5 books, but in what's this, Chase Learns to Read, she's teaching children how Chase learned to read. When Chase was a baby, I put these little signs all over, like my whole house just had signs on it, like in the color purple. My friends used to pick on me, but I didn't care. See, there's signs everywhere. So she's telling her audience, teaching her audience how Chase learned to read. And the whole series is about teaching children valuable skills that they need to learn to move forward in life. Something else that she did, which I thought was really, really cool, is in the back of the book, she has activities, but she also has, where'd it go? Oh, I'm sorry. It's in the revised version. So in the revised version, we added Black history moments. So we have Pharrell in the back of one, President Barack Obama in the back of one, I believe Philip A. Morgan in the back of one, and we teach children about these Black history greats who have contributed to our society. And then 5, you could be changing someone's life by giving them comfort. Her is a poetry book by my favorite poet, Sir Pierre Genty. Pierre Alex Genty. I just call him Alex. But if you don't know Alex, he is a poetry rock star. You can look him up at Pierre Genty. And I'll tag all of these authors in the comments section so that you can support them. But his poems are like simply amazing. I mean, here, this one. Dear Black girl, your skin is a beautiful place to live in. Your hair is grass from the heavens, and your shape is a beautiful sculpture. You are not magic. Magic is only an illusion. You are more than a miracle. You are an unexpected blessing. So for the person who has been told that they aren't pretty or they aren't special, Dear Black Girl is a poem for that person. Most of his poems are about love and relationships, healing from those, but giving comfort to let people know that they are not alone in their heartbreak. They're not alone in their sadness. And they most certainly are not alone in feeling like poetry is a great way to reach them. So, comment a book that has changed your life. Think about it for a moment. Think of a book that you've read for entertainment, to learn something, to be motivated, to be encouraged, to reshape your thinking, and drop a comment and let me know the title of the book that has changed your life. Then think about what you have to give someone else to change their life. Happy writing!